I am Patrick Mwesige from the UNEP Regional Office for Africa and also the manager for the Switch Africa Green Project. I would want to welcome you to this e-learning course on sustainable consumption and production, and I hope by the end you'll find something very useful on trying to link SCP, green economy, and other concepts that we use in this field. Sustainable consumption and production is a concept that has been in Africa since 2003, when there was the Marrakesh process, which gives a connection between the production and the consumption in a sustainable way. Because before that, the emphasis was only on production, but now without knowing that before you produce, you have first to consume. So as a result of that, if we are to have a sustainable development, we need to change our patterns of consumption, our patterns of production, to ensure that we have and achieve sustainable development in our field, in our countries. New fields since then have come up, such as the green economy, the life cycle thinking and the assessment. And these concepts also relate together with sustainable consumption and production. We also have such concepts like resource efficient and cleaner production, which has been in Africa since 1995. And as a result, when you connect all these concepts, you end up having sustainable development promotion in Africa. Africa has faced a number of challenges in terms of sustainable development. Top among them is, of course, poverty. Poverty has been one of the major issues that has hampered development in Africa. And as a result of poverty, it leads to social exclusion, social inequality, so that peoples in Africa who are now living before the so-called poverty line find it difficult to take on this concept of sustainable consumption and production when they are having their people malnourished, undernourished, and having not enough to eat. As a result of poverty in the rural areas, there is the rural-urban migration, and this one results in increases in urban growth. Where it is positive in some countries in terms of giving services, it can also lead to urban poor, and this can be a major problem. But also, industrial development has resulted in pollution, both of water, air, and so on, and environmental degradation. And this has resulted in unsustainable exploitation and extraction of natural resources, which has led to many countries having a lot of environmental degradation. Many of the priority areas in Africa include manufacturing, agriculture, tourism, and these sectors end up mostly consuming resources without considering on how the production will affect the environment. So if we are to sustainably manage the resources in Africa and also promote sustainable development, we need to see how these sectors take on the concept of sustainable consumption and production, resource efficiency, and also to some extent transition to green economy. Life cycle thinking normally refers to considering a particular product from its extraction until the end of life use. Before the life cycle thinking, we had what we call cradle to grave. Once a product is used, it becomes waste, and then it is thrown away. But with the life cycle thinking, you have to make sure that you call what they call cradle to cradle, so that a waste becomes a resource for another process. There is a belief that because in many instances Africa does not have enough food, that people are facing famine, food shortages, and so on, that we don't have to go through the patterns of sustainable consumption and production. This misconception leads mostly to not addressing the main challenges that we face. If, with the few resources available, can be sustainably, some of the challenges that I mentioned above that face Africa would not be there. We would be having a better way of how we can manage resources and attain the sustainable development. Now, with the coming in place of Sustainable Development Goals that were approved in September 2015, Africa needs all the different methods, including sustainable consumption and production, so that we can move ahead and achieve and attain the sustainability indicators that have been put in place. Reduce the poverty, reduce the hunger, and also SCP being one of the goals, I think we would be on the right way, instead of thinking that SCP is not for Africa, but only for developed countries. So if policymakers can be part and parcel of promoting sustainable consumption and production in the different 54 countries in Africa, then the thinking of the technocrats and even the private sector will ensure that all material flow analysis, all materials usage, all the energy, all the water, all of them are used in a more sustainable way. So I would urge the participants, starting from this module 1, to ensure that they finish all the modules, take the work seriously, so that we can easily transition our African countries to green economy, but also promote sustainable consumption and production patterns.